hearing the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund CDF for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. And today we expect 4 witnesses to appear before this committee. We expect Kalomo Town Council, Kazungula Municipal Council, Namwala Town Council, and Mungwi Town Council to reappear before the Committee on Local Government Accounts. So just now, we take you to the committee as a Kalomo Town Council that is being led by the Council Secretary, Mr. Trophias Kafunga, who will be making their submissions. Keep watching Parliament Television. Good morning.
Thank you so much. Please get settled. You can take out the seats. Kalomo Town Council. The other member, you can please come and sit to the other side. Yeah. Mr. Kandu, yeah. Thank you so much. Kalomo Town Council, you are welcome to National Assembly of Zambia. Your place to be today, your rightful place. Before we get started, I'd like to confer you with the immunity of Chapter 12 of the laws of Zambia, which states that whenever you appear before Parliament or any such proceedings like this, we dress you up with immunity, and that whatever you say before your committee has to be the truth and nothing but the truth. And that the same Chapter 12 also will work against you if you decide not to tell the truth. However, you are not so able for anything you will say before your committee, before the courts of law in Zambia. Before we proceed in any way, I would just like us to know each other. We do our introductions. Yes, starting with you, and afterwards you will kindly invite all your colleagues you are with to introduce themselves.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, and good morning to members of this committee. Good morning to the permanent witnesses. Chair, my name is Trophias Muvukwan Kufanga, the Council Secretary, KALOMO Town Council. I thank you.
Chairperson, good morning. Good morning, honorable members. My name is Lee Sampasela, Council Secretary, KAOMA.
Chair, good morning, honorable members of the committee. Good morning, permanent witnesses. Banda Chikumbuso is my name. For the period under review, Director of Engineering for KALOMO currently, and the Director of Engineering Kangata Town Council. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, the committee. My name is Mwempe Joel, Assistant Director, Engineering at KALOMO Town Council.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, all members of this committee. My name is Yota Mirenda, Senior Procurement and Supplies Officer, KALOMO Town Council.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Nkandu Raphael, Director of Planning, KALOMO Town Council.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of the committee. My name is Mubanga Jimmy, Director of Finance for KALOMO Town Council.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of the committee. Senior Elvis, Senior Health Inspector, KALOMO Town Council.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of the committee. My name is Bridget Moitwa, Internal Auditor, KALOMO Town Council.
Thank you so much. AG's office.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members of the committee. Good morning, KALOMO Town Council. My name is Martin Oni, Assistant Director, Southern Province. Thank you.
The other officer, yes, Minister of Finance and the rest.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Venon, coming from the Office of the Control of Internal Audit, Minister of Finance. Thank you.
Chairperson, good morning to you and the honorable members of your committee, Secretariat and the fellow permanent witnesses. Good morning. KALOMO Town Council, you are welcome to this session. I'm Kazinga Kennedy, permanent witness from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairperson, and the members of this honorable committee. Good morning, colleagues. My name is Mutali Mishek. I'm from the Local Government Service Commission.
Thank you so much, Secretariat, National Assembly.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Namwenga Simalori from the Flex office.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members of Parliament, and good morning to everyone. My name is Manamape in the office of the clerk. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Chairperson. Good morning to you and other honorable members, our permanent witnesses. Good morning to you also. Mr. Kufanga and the entourage, good morning. I am Chirimboy Elijah from the Office of the Clerk of National Assembly, and our witness, you are welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member for Sakia.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning to you. Morning, honorable colleagues, both seated physically and those logged online. Secretariat, our permanent witnesses, KALOMO Town Council, good morning. KALOMO Pavuma is my name. I represent the good people of Sakina constituency. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member for Kaumbwe.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, KALOMO Town Council, and welcome to your committee and local government accounts. I'm Honorable Dr. Aaron Mwanza, Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe constituency in the district of Eastern Province. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our colleagues logged in online. Honorable Dr. Singombe.
Chairman, I'm very grateful and good morning to you. Good morning, our Secretariat. Good morning, our permanent witnesses. Good morning, my dear friends and colleagues from Kalomo Town Council. I say fraternal greetings there from Dundumwezi. There I'm a little bit uncomfortable. That man, the council chairman, the council, we were with him yesterday by 23 hours. I just want to ask him what kind of transport he has used to come and sit there. I want to welcome PS for Kaoma and Mr. Chikumbuso Banda back home through that gathering. My name is Honorable Dr. Edgar Singombe, representing the people of Dundumwezi here in Kalomo, Southern Province. Chair, thank you so very much. Special greetings to Kamondo.
Thank you so much, Dr. Singombe. I thought you would talk about his name, Trophicius, yet you're talking about the transport.
I want to know the type of transport he has used to be there.
Okay, since you're in the same district, Doc, you will always engage on the sidelines. And he's going to lecture you and tutor you on the means of transport. Honorable Mulonda.
Person, good morning.
Morning to you too, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Kufanga. We are reliably informed that the Kabroom is just outside the gate there. Good morning to Kalomo Council. Good morning, Kamondo. Good morning, Honorable Singombe. Pavuma and everyone else. My name is Mulunda Darius, Member of Parliament for Siavonga constituency. Chairperson, I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mulunda. My brother, Honorable Kamondo, our brother is being abused too much. Please introduce yourself and give some defensive mechanism.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson. Good morning, our permanent witnesses. Good morning, our Secretariat. I greet you all. And good morning. So, my young man, Murunda, and all honorable colleagues that are seated in that committee, we wish you the best. You are doing a very good job. My name is Elliot Kamondo. I'm a Member of Parliament for Mfumwe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my elder brother. Honorable Shakafuswa, Vice Chairperson of the committee. Thank you so much. Kalomo Town Council, I'm Member of Parliament for Mangango constituency in Kaloma District, sitting in for the chairperson of the committee, Honorable. Honorable Mulunda, please, Honorable Mulunda. The CS for Kalomo is being disturbed here. Thank you. Thank you so much. I was just introducing myself. I'm Mwene Luhamba, Member of Parliament for Mangango in Kauma District, sitting in for the chairperson, who happens to be Honorable Mishek Nyambose, who is out in the constituency right now, also looking at other constituency issues. At this juncture, I would like you, Kalomo Town Council, to kindly feel free and take us through your memorandum. But before we proceed, it's imperative to let you know that this broadcast is live on Parliament Radio, also Parliament TV. On DSTV, we are on channel 275, GoTV channel 28, Topstar, we are on channel 5, and live on Facebook page, and people are following. So maybe please make the presentations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. With your indulgence, allow me to submit an addendum to the appendices we already submitted earlier on, and a few attachments, Chair, if you allow me.
Yes, please. You are allowed to. Where are the amendments?
Submitted, Secretary Chair.
Okay. Yes, yeah. Okay, you can proceed, please.
Thank you, Chair. Our report, Chair, starts from page 2 of our report. The first item under specific audits, Kalomo Central Constituency. The first query, Chair, delayed implementation of projects. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and would like to submit that the failure to implement the two projects was attributed to the following reasons. Number one, township roads contribution to KFW, which was a contribution. At the time of audit, the contribution had not been paid because project funders had not shared the revised project implementation agreement between KFW, or rather among KFW, Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, and Kalomo Town Council. The second one, purchase of a rig. At the time of audit, the machine had not been delivered at the supplier had requested for extension of the contract. Action taken. The two projects have since been fully implemented in the sense that the contribution to the KFW road project has been made and the rig has been supplied. Remedial measures. Chair, management will ensure to make sure that all projects are implemented within the contractual period. The second one, Chair, delayed completion of Muchenje Health Post. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observations and would like to submit that the cause of query for failure to complete Muchenje Health Post was due to phased funding approach in the project and the delay by the community in mobilizing upfront materials, it being a labor-based project. The funding under 2022 amounting to 150,000 kwacha was only adequate to cater for the following scope of works: superstructure, roofing, and plastering. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to submit that the project was allocated an additional amount totaling 200,000 kwacha under the 2024 CDF allocation for the completion of the remaining scope of works, which includes flooring, carpentry works, metal works, external works, and painting. The project has since been awarded a full contract to Brain Construction Limited at a total cost of 184,155.86 ngwe. Works have since progressed, and the completed works as follows: flooring, metal works, spoon drain, and carpentry works. See Appendix 2. Remedial measures. Management will ensure to continue advising the CDF's committee to be funding the projects to their completion and not in phases, and further to avoid labor-based projects but to be giving full contracts. The third one, Chair, rehabilitation of 1x3 classroom block at Shimbunji Community School, delayed completion. Cause of query, Chair. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and would like to submit that failure to complete the 1x3 classroom block at Shimbunji Community School was due to delay by the community in mobilizing upfront materials, it being a labor-based project. Management wishes to clarify that in the year 2023, a total amount of 150,000 kwacha was allocated for the blown-off roof in Shimbunji Community School under disaster component. Action taken. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to report that the project has since been completed in accordance with the scope of the works for the first allocation of the 150,000 kwacha. Management should recommend for additional funding under 2025 disaster component to enable the completion of the project, with remaining works being painting and glazing on full contract basis. See the picture below, Chair. And see Appendix 3. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to allocate adequate resources to the projects and complete projects within the stipulated time frame. The next query, Chair. Construction of a staff house at KALOMO Primary School. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observations and would like to submit that failure to complete the staff house at KALOMO Community School was due to delay by the community in mobilizing upfront materials as it was being implemented as a labor-based project and the phased funding approach. Further, the cracks observed by the auditors on the floor in one of the rooms was due to the poor curing and the failure for the door to open was due to the contractor having fitted the door before it cured completely. Action taken. Management wishes to submit that the floor has been worked on and the door has been replaced on the outstanding works. And on the outstanding works, the glazing has been done and the air vents have been fitted. Further, an additional funding of 50,000 kwacha has been allocated under 2025 CDF to Qatar for painting. See picture below and see Appendix 4. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to allocate adequate resources to the projects and complete projects within the stipulated time frame. The following query is construction of a health post at Mulwanzi. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and would like to submit that the failure to complete Mulwanzi health post was due to a phased funding approach to the project. The funding under 2022 amounting to 150,000 kwacha was only allocated to Qatar for the following works: scope of works, excavation works, slab, block work, and superstructure. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the project has been allocated funds amounting to 200,000 kwacha under 2024 CDF to complete the following scope of works: roofing, metalworks, internal and external plastering, flooring, painting, glazing, and external works. Management further wishes to highlight that works are currently ongoing and the following works have since been completed: roofing, metalworks, internal and external plastering, flooring, and glazing. See the picture below and Appendix 5. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to allocate adequate resources to the projects and complete projects within a stipulated time frame. The next query, Chair. Delayed completion of works construction of a 1x3 classroom block at Nakavanga Primary School. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observations and would like to submit that the failure to complete the 1x3 classroom block at Nakavanga was due to phased funding approach to the project. the funding under 2022 amounting to 150,000 kwacha was only adequate to cater for the following scope of works: brickwork, ring beam, and roofing. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the project was submitted to the Constituency Development Fund Committee of Kalomo Central for consideration of additional funding to ensure the completion. This submission was in line with the council's commitment to adhering to the ministerial circular number 101/22/157, which prioritizes the completion of ongoing projects before initiating new ones. The project has since been allocated an additional funding under the 2025 CDF to complete the remaining works. See Appendix 6. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to allocate adequate resources to the projects and complete projects within the stipulated time frame. Numerous constituents delayed implementation of projects. Cause of query, Chair. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observations and would like to submit that the failure to complete the two projects was attributed to the following reasons. Number one, Township Road's contribution to KFW contribution. Chair, if you don't mind, the query relates to the similar issue I read under Kalomo Central. With your indulgence, allow me to skip it. Thank you, Chair. Number two, purchase of a water bowser. At the time of audit, the supplier of the water bowser had not delivered the water bowser, as the supplier was having challenges on the clearance of the machine with regards to tax and duty, as they were not provided for in the contract. Action taken. From the two projects, the contribution toward the township road has been done. However, the water bowser has not been procured. The procurement committee recommended that the project be tabled in CDFC for extra funding. See Appendix 7. Remedial measures. Management will ensure to make sure that all projects are implemented within the contractual period. Construction of maternity wing at Tibilili Clinic. Cause of query, Chair. Management acknowledged the findings of the audit and wishes to submit that the works on the contract for the construction of maternity annexes were outstanding due to the termination of the contract following non-performance by the contractor. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the works on the construction of the maternity annex at Bilili have since resumed following the readvertisement and procurement of a new contractor. See Appendix 8. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to allocate adequate resources to the projects and complete projects within the stipulated timeframes. Construction of a staff house at Mailamale Community School. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the audit's observation and would like to submit that the failure to complete the staff house at Mailamale was due to a phased funding approach to the project and the delay by the community mobilizing upfront materials, it being a labor-based project. The funding under 2022 amounting to 60,000 kwacha was only allocated to cater for the following scopes of work: substructures, superstructure, block work, and ring beam. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the superstructure block work has since been completed. Further, the project has been recommended for additional funding under 2025 CDF allocation to cater for the full completion of the project. See Appendix 9. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to allocate adequate resources to the projects and complete projects within the stipulated time frame. Cross-cutting issues, Chair. Budget, funding and expenditure. Management response. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to state that the shortfall in receiving the full budget funding was due to the ministry withholding certain funds intended for the construction of chiefs' palaces in both Kalomo Central and Dunumwes constituencies and the insurance of the CDF vehicles. Additionally, management would like to clarify that the projects for this, the procurement of these projects was centrally managed by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Action taken. Management would like to clarify that the contractor for the construction of the Chief's Palaces, Zambia Correctional Services, has mobilized and the works are currently ongoing. The insurance of the motor vehicles was done. See Appendix 10. Management shall continue to ensure that even though projects are procured centrally, supervision, monitoring is conducted. Chair, the next one is retained. Oh, sorry, Appendix 1.1 is for the 10 Chiefs Palaces. Management response.
What figures should be there? Your tables, what figures?
No, Chair.
There are no figures in that table. Okay, continue. Continue, President.
Chair, is in the addendum. Thank you. Management response. Management wish to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the ministry withholding certain funds intended for the construction of the Chief's Palaces in both KALOMO and Dumas constituencies. Additionally, management would like to clarify that the procurement of these projects was centrally managed by the Ministry of Local Government. Action taken. Management would like to clarify that the contractor for the construction of the Chief's Palaces, Zambia Correctional Services, has mobilized and the works are currently ongoing. See Appendix 10. Sorry, this looks like a repetition. Remedial measures. Management will continue to ensure that even though projects are centrally procured, supervision and monitoring will be conducted. Appendix 2, Chair, is total unspent funds. Management response. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit the failure to fully spend the amount received during the period under review was due to the Council receiving 3 separate fundings in the last quarter of 2023. The first funding amounting to 8 million per constituency was received on October 6, 2023. The second funding amounting to 5.6 million per constituency was received on November 13, 2023. The third funding amounting to 5.8 million was received on the 29th of December 2023. The timing of these disbursements made it a challenge for the Council to implement the projects within the review period, resulting in the discrepancy between the funds available and the actual expenditure. Additionally, there was a balance brought forward of 14.4 million and 23.3 million respectively for some projects that were still ongoing for 2022. Action taken. Management would like to submit that 1. Balance brought forward of 37,738,562. Management wishes to clarify that the balance brought forward amounting to 37,738,562 pertained to the 2022 funding. The said funding was disbursed on 11th November 2022 and 5th December 2022, with each constituency receiving a total of 16,749,627 respectively. Further, management wished to submit that the balance for bursaries was reported in the CDFC, which further recommended that the said funds be varied to procure desk community projects and a generator at request Muntanga Level 1 Hospital as per presidential directive. We further wish to submit that the balance brought forward was broken down as follows. Chair under KALOMO Central, community projects 6,760,836, empowerment grants 1,041,368, empowerment loans 2,934,350, skills secondary bursaries 2,905,239, administrative costs 781,802, total 14,423,595. Dumezi, Chair. Community projects 14,731,503. Empowerment grants 1,689,233. Empowerment loans 2,934,350. Skills secondary bursaries 3,251,611. Administrative costs 706,738. Total 23,313,435. In support of this comprehensive comprehensive list of the completed projects, along with copies of signed substantial completion certificates, ledgers for loans, grant bursaries, and administrative costs available and attached for the verification of the committee. See Appendix 11. Unspent funds, Chair, 4,258,881. Management wishes to further submit KALOMO Central. Chair, community projects 16,046,005. Empowerment grants 1,815,049. Skills secondary 1,426,87. Administrative costs 924,736. Total 20,201,877. Dumezi community projects 16,134,688. Empowerment grants 1,725,639. Skills secondary bursaries 2,098,302. Administrative costs 1,217,175. Total 22,057,804. Management wishes to further submit that the projects that have been completed and those that are ongoing are shown on Appendix 11. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to utilize funds within the financial year. The next one, Chair, is unspent funds community projects. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge that the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the failure to fully spend the amount received during the period under review was due to the Council receiving two separate funding in the last quarter of 2023. One funding amounting to 8 million per constituents was received on October 6, 2023. Another funding amounting to 5.6 million per constituents was received on November 13, 2023. The timing in this disbursement made it a challenge for the Council to implement the projects within the review period. Action taken. Management has since spent the total sum of 12,436,737 under KALOMO Central and a total of 12,166,858 under Dumezi on the projects tabulated below. Chair, the first table relates to KALOMO Central. With your indulgence, allow me to skip the details.
You can skip it.
Thank you, Chair. The following one is for Dumezi, also for the details. See Appendix 12. Remedial measures. Management shall ensure that all the outstanding projects are completed on time. The next one, Chair, is unspent funds empowerment grants. Management response. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observations and wishes to state that the unspent funds relating to the empowerment grants were attributed to the late submission of grants application by the ward development committees, as well as the delayed sitting by the consensus development committee to review and approve the applications. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the approval for the empowerment grants have been received and all approved grants beneficiaries have been fully funded. See Appendix 13. Remedial measures. Management will strive to ensure that all scheduled consensus development fund committee meetings are convened following the prescribed calendar of meetings to allow timely receipt of approvals. The next one, Chair, is unspent funds empowerment grants. Sorry, Chair, this is a repetition. With your indulgence, allow me to skip it.
You can skip it.
Thank you, Chair. The next one, Chair, is secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Appendix 2.4. Management response. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the unspent funds in relation to secondary boarding school and skills development bursaries were attributed to low uptake rate of the component by the beneficiaries. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the unspent funds of 4,597,537 were reported to the CDFC, which further recommended that the said funds be varied to procure desk, community projects, and the genset at request Mtanga Level 1 Hospital as the Presidential Directive. See Appendix 14. Remedial measures. Management to endeavor to ensure that the ward development committees and the public are sensitized on the availability of secondary boarding schools and skills development CDF component. Appendix 2.5, unspent funds administrative costs. Because of query, management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit the unspent funds in relation to administration component was due to the most community projects being in the initial stages of implementation. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the total amount of 789,187 has been spent from Kalomo Central and 1,062,086 has been spent from Dunumwezi, making the total amount spent for the two constituencies for the administrative cost to 1,806,221. See Appendix 15. Remedial measures. Management to endeavor to implement the all planned projects within the stipulated financial year. The Appendix 3 Chair 2022 community projects. Management response. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observations and would like to submit that all the 2022 CDF projects were implemented as per auditor's observation. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the projects were implemented as per auditor's observations. Remedial measures. Management to endeavor to maintain the status quo. Appendix 4 2023 community projects. Because of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and would like to submit that at the time of audit, two projects were not implemented in each constituency due to delayed delivery by the suppliers of the water bowser and the drilling rig for Dunumwezi and Kalomo Central respectively. Further, the contribution towards the FW road projects by both constituencies had not yet been made. Action taken. Tabulated in the table below are status of the 16 projects under Kalomo Central and 6 projects under Dunumwezi, which were work in progress at the time of audit. The two tables speak to the projects. With your indulgence, could I skip the details? Okay. Thank you, Chair. Remedial measures. Management to endeavor to make sure that all projects are implemented within the contractual period. Appendix 5, Chair, an analysis of performance, youth, women, and community grants. Because of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and submits that as at 30th December 2023, 31st December 2023, the local authority was awaiting approvals for recommended grants, hence the low disbursement grants. Action taken. Management received approvals for all grants that were pending for the year 2023, and as at 29th January 2024, all grants from the period under review had been disbursed in full. See Appendix 13. Management commits to ensure that all empowerment funds that are recommended for approval and disbursed fully within the financial year. Appendix 8 here, performance analysis soft loans. Because of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and would like to submit that the loan empowerment funds were not disbursed fully at the time of audit, as some of the approved applicants were still responding to queries raised by the financial institutions. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the applicants who at the time of audit had not responded to the queries raised by the financial institutions have since responded and received their empowerment loans. Management has since appointed loan officers who work with the applicants to ensure the applications are prepared in conformity with the stipulated guidelines to reduce possible queries from the financial institutions. thus also reducing the downtime of implementation. See Appendix 16. Remedial measures management to ensure 100% approval rate. Appendix 9, failure to recover loans. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and submit that the low recovery rate from loan beneficiaries was due to low remittances rate by beneficiaries. Action taken, management wishes to submit that it issued demand notices to all non-compliant loan beneficiaries, and some of the beneficiaries have since started repaying. As at 31st March 2025, a total amount of 830,603,881 from Kalomo Central and 379,875.85 from Numezi have since repaid. So have since been repaid. See Appendix 17. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to intensify financial literacy trainings and sensitization meetings to ensure all loan beneficiaries adhere to the repayment schedule. Appendix 10, Chair, secondary boarding and skills development bursary. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observations and submits that the discrepancy in the number of received applicants and approved applicants for skills development beneficiaries not meeting the minimum qualifications, such as applying for non-skilled courses and others being overage. Further, management submits that the low graduation rates by both secondary boarding schools and skills development was due to different duration of courses under skills development and different grades for secondary boarding schools. Action taken. Management will continue to monitor learners and students still not on bursary. See Appendix 20, Chair. 21, Chair, sorry. Remedial measure. Management will endeavor to minimize the management will endeavor to maintain the status quo. Appendix 13, analysis of performance of desks. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and submit that all desks were procured and delivered on time. Action taken, management submits that desks were procured and delivered on time. Remedial measures management commits to maintain the status quo. Chair, on behalf of management of Kalomo Town Council, I wish to express our sincere commitment to adhering to issues with the seriousness they deserve. We do not take any concerns lightly, and we pledge to this honorable committee that we as a team will work diligently to improve upon our shortcomings. We will do so in the line with the instructions and directions provided by the committee, with the ultimate goal of serving the residents of Kalomo and the citizens at large in a dignified and responsible manner. I submit, Chair.
Thank you so much. What a good conclusion in your submission. However, we are still going to go through the points of clarification phase of our discussion. Honorable members, those that are following online, we have reached the stage of points of clarifications. We start with the thank you. We start with the honorable member for Usakile.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Honorable member for Usakile, would you please just hold on? The honorable member online, is that the honorable member for Dundumwezi who wants to ask a question?
No, let the honorable member for Usakile begin, sir.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to give you priority since you are online. Okay, we will start with the honorable member for Usakile.
Thank you very much, Chair. CS, thank you for your submission. Chair, with your indulgence, I take the committee to page 23.
Can proceed, honorable member.
Page 23, Appendix 2.4. Secondary boarding and skill development bursaries. Here, Chair, we had for both Kalomo Central was combined, Kalomo Central and Dundumoise. We had unspent funds of 45%, amounting to 4,597,537 kwacha. On the cause of query, Chair, they are telling us that management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit that unspent funds in relation to secondary boarding school and skills development bursaries were attributed to low uptake rate of the component by beneficiaries. And on the action taken, management wishes to state that the unspent funds amounting to 4,597,337 were reported to the CDFC, which further recommended that the said funds be valid to procure desks, community projects, and a generator at the request Montanga Level 1 Hospital as per presidential directive. And they've directed us to Appendix 14, Chair, as well as the evidence is cited. So maybe committee can go to Appendix 14. Here, they've exhibited the conveyance approval, they've exhibited some minutes, both from Kalomo, Dundumoise. So my first question here, Chair, where is the list of projects that were born from this variation? Where is the projects? Where are the financials, payment vouchers, contracts, any related documents that will prove that indeed these funds were prudently spent? I've looked at what you have exhibited here. You have exhibited separate from, there are 44 documents that are carrying contracts, payment vouchers. But in your submission here on the action taken, you have mentioned also a genset, which does not appear. I can't see the documents here. You have not numbered them. And on the same 44 documents you have exhibited, you have not directed us which document is speaking to which specific project. So, since you are the owners of the document, can you show us where is this evidence? We wanted to see where you've taken this fund. We can't just have a story. Then, these minutes that are exhibited here, Chair, are they the ones that speak to this variation? If the answer is given, I'll bring in other questions. Thank you, Chair.
All right, yes. So, thank you, Chair. Allow me to bring my predecessor.
Thank you, Chair. As to whether these are the minutes that are speaking to the variation, yes, they are the minutes. If you checked on page 3, it's talking about the procurement of the generator set for request Montanga Hospital. That is page 3 of the...
Honorable Member, may I please speak through the chair and through the microphone? Yes, Honorable Member for Osaki.
I'm saying she's talking of the minutes. Indicate the dates of those minutes that you are referring to.
The date of the minutes is the 13th of January 2023.
In the appendix?
It's on appendix number 14, page 3.
Honorable Member for Osaki.
I've seen it already. I just wanted a verbal confirmation.
Yes.
So which other one?
His other question, Chair, is on the list of projects that came out of this variation.
Sorry, yes, just draw the mic closer to yourself and so that the people can hear you. Yes, please.
Chair, we have not attached these vouchers that are being requested for, but with your indulgence, through the Secretariat, we can avail these documents rather, before the end of the day today.
Okay, and was the genset procured?
Absolutely, Chair. The genset was procured and is currently running at request from Mutanga Hospital at a cost of 935,000.
Yes, why did you decide to leave these documents? That are very important because this query is one of the queries that are here. So it was just imperative that you attach all the documentations to this, then it will ease your work. However, since you will provide to Secretariat, we proceed. Honorable Member for a second.
Yes, Chair. We go to Appendix 14. Here is a letter dated 11th May 2023, whose reference reads, requested to vary secondary boarding school and skill development funds amounting to 2.5 million kwacha under the 2022 CDF Dumwezi constituency. So the funds in question, this is the letter that you wrote to request for variation. Is it true?
Yes.
Under Appendix 14.
Yes, Chair. It's
Yes.
the letter that we wrote.
11 May 2023. It's dated 11 May 2023.
Just a moment.
Yes.
Yes, it is, Chair.
And the approval was done on 20th March 2023. The first exhibit on Appendix 14.
Okay, I'll request the Director Engineering to come in.
Straightforward. There's you have exhibited the first document on Appendix 14. So after your request, it was approved on 20th March 2023.
Chair, through you, I wish to make a submission and clarify on the matter. I think there should just be a mix-up, but however, Chair, if
Point
you
of
go...
objection, Chairman.
Yes, Honorable.
What are they clarifying? Because I've not put my question. I'm just speaking to the evidence. I've not yet put a question. What are they clarifying? What is your witness clarifying?
Director Engineering, take your time. That's all done.
Because my question is simple. The first document on Appendix 14, is it true? This indicates the same approval of variation? That's my...
Chair, maybe...
the answer is yes or no.
for ease of
The only two
reference,
answers,
we can
yes
just
or no.
Order, please. You are all to speak through the chair, and you don't speak.
I think I have the floor.
Honorable Kalo, can you please rephrase your question?
I'm saying we are on Appendix 14. I'm saying the first document they were exhibited, I've put a simple question. This is the approval for the same variation? Well, I just expect a yes or no, because I've not yet asked other questions where I need explanation.
Yes, yes.
Questions are coming.
Chair, yes, it is.
If it is the one, why was it approved before you requested for variation? Because the request for variation is 11th May 2023. The approval is 20th March 2023. Why? Did you, you just manufacture this evidence for the purpose of appearing before this committee?
Director Engineering.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, like I was trying to explain earlier, I think there should just be an error in terms of the dates. However, Chair, in the same letter in which the Honorable was referring to, when you go into the main body, it actually written the reference is made to your letter dated 11th. So it was actually speaking to the same letter that we had submitted. So the initial date that was put by the provincial local government office should have just been an error. I submit, Chair.
Director Engineering. So you are stating that the mistake was committed by the provincial local government office?
Thank you, Chair. And I said perhaps for ease of reference, I can read the 2 lines so that we are on the same page.
Which 2 lines?
The letter is dated 20th of March. Reference is made to your letters dated 11th and 15th of May 2023, in which you submitted a recommendation for empowerment, and it goes on and on. So clearly, this is just a typographical error you submit.
Which letter are you reading, sis? Because we are on the letter dated 11th of May. Which one are you reading? Sorry? The one on the front. The first one, 10th of March 2023. Yes, that's one you are reading.
Yes, Chair, it's actually 10th and not 20th.
Okay.
The binding wasn't.
Okay, because the binding has cut off some figures there. Honorable Carlo, do you still have another point of clarification?
Chair, this skills development fund is meant to address skills mismatch that exists in our industries in Zambia, including at local level, where you are coming from. Yes, I was saying skills development fund is meant to address the skills mismatch that exists in the industry, even at local level. I'm sure you do experience situations where you want to do a certain project and you don't have people who can do that. There are no people with that skill. And yourselves in KALOMO, the moment you experience the low uptake, you quickly learn to write letters of variation to disadvantage the young ones who can benefit from this fund. You quickly run to vary these funds without any sensitization whatsoever, because I've not seen, even in your submission, I've not indicated, you never conducted any sensitization so that at one instance you can improve in terms of the students. Why such a behavior? Why don't you want the young ones in KALOMO and Dundumwezi to acquire skills so that at one day also they can reach your level? Why exhibit that selfishness so that you are only the ones with skills that can make you make amends?
Yes, thank you so much, Honorable Member. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Massive and numerous sensitization exercises and programs were conducted during the period under review. At the beginning of our submission, we did request for the indulgence of the committee that we've come up with some
point of interjection.
So that information has been.
That's give you a chance to explain, then you will come in on it. Yes, please, you can proceed.
Yes, Chair, we did request the committee to accept our additional information, and those are the reports for sensitization programs that we conducted during the period under review. Thank you.
Then,
Chair,
the addendum.
like I have said, Chair, I'm very uncomfortable to proceed in this fashion. This is an evidence-based committee. Even just on this, these other questions that I've picked. There are no pictures, no list of projects, no payment vouchers. Again, we allow a witness to speak to what has not been submitted. What? They've brought 44 documents here. I've gone through them, though they've just been given now. I can't see. Can you direct me or the committee to that sensitization and show us also the pictures of sensitization in the documents before us, not the documents that you are seated with? Where is that document?
I'll request Director of Finance to come in.
Thank you, Chair. I think the document that you are referring to is just seated next to you, Honorable.
Which document is that?
In the box file that is with the Honorable.
The box file?
Yes.
I don't have the box file here. Maybe you can kindly direct us to it, because you know, especially if the members do not have the document, it becomes difficult to refer to what you're talking about. When you make addendums and whatever, you make them in 10 copies so that every member has the document you are presenting before the committee.
Council taken, Chair.
So you are saying the document is there, so it will come around.
What is here is a story. They just sit and write a story. Where are the pictures? It's just like you're giving us a letter from their office.
I don't have that document with me here.
It's here, Chair.
Can I have it, please? For
it's a story.
guidance?
It's a box file of storytelling. Me, I can't call it evidence.
Chair, I wish the Honorable could have gone further. There is also another report with exactly the specifications that he's looking for, which has pictures and everything there. Thank you. I submit.
Actually, it becomes difficult when I'm receiving, when I'm questioning.
Honorable Member for Secretary, may you please speak through the chair? Your microphone off, please. Where are the pictures that you are referring to? You have a similar box file like this one with you?
Yes, sir.
Direct us, please.
Okay, so there is at the far end of the box file. After the performance of the loans, there's a report that follows, which has got pictures. I submit, sir.
You know, like this will be making it difficult for your committee to, because you are just able to provide one document.
Yeah, one more question as we are checking, scrutinizing that, or to close this question. One last
Yes,
question.
can you please give the last question?
The minutes to vary, the CDFC in Dundumwezi sat on 13 January 2023, and in Kalomo Central they sat on 20th December 2022. Then you wrote request to vary on 11th May 2023. Then inside the detail, Chair, they are blaming the CDFC committee that they took long to start. So 4 months, 5 months after, they had decided to approve the variation. Then yourselves, you wrote a letter to request for variation in May. Why such behavior? And with this behavior, how is the CDF in Kalomo and Dundumwezi going to be a game changer? So demonstrate before this committee with this behavior that you have exhibited in your documents. How is CDF going to be a game changer? Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Chair, we are still trying to locate the documents that have been cited.
You have exhibited, we are on page 23. The exhibit is on appendix 14. So the minutes that are there, they are dated, there are 2 minutes. From Dundumwezi, it's dated 13 January 2023. Kalomo is dated 20 December 2022, the minutes that you have exhibited under appendix 14. And the letter exhibited under the same appendix 14, where you requested for variation yourselves now to the ministry, to the provincial administration, is dated 11 May 2023, 5 months after the CDFC committee had already started to approve the variation. So I'm saying with that laissez-faire attitude demonstrated before this committee, how CDF will be a game changer in Kalomo and Dundumwezi. That is my submission, Chair.
Chair, may I also add in a question there?
Yes, Honorable Dr. Singombe. Honorable.
Hello?
Yes, please, you can go ahead.
Yeah, Chair, thank you very much. I just want to make a follow-up on the question posed by my colleague, where it is allegedly that the CDFC delayed to sit, and according to Honorable Pavuma, I think he's saying about 4 months. I don't think that could be the correct version, Chair, because you and I are very much aware that members of parliament are also members of these committees. Is the CS in a position to inform me and the committee, including the people of Dundumwezi who yearn for quick reaction in terms of service delivery? What could have led the committee to delay to sit, looking at the proximity from where we are and Kalomo? What could have led us not to convene this meeting for 4 months? And may the local authority explain clearly and let the people know who is supposed to initiate the meeting. Is it not the local authority? And at what point really where we spent 4 months without us sitting, are they able to show the committee the evidence of a time that they wrote a letter or a communication to the committees and they could not meet? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think, Honorable Member, just a slight point of clarification there. Honorable Kalomo is saying Kalomo CDFC sat in on the 20th of December 2022, and the Dundumwezi you sat on the 13th of January 2023. So there, Honorable Member, you didn't delay to sit as the CDFC committee. So his question is purely on the time that was taken after you sat, the time that was taken by the council to write to the PLGO for the conveyance. Am I right, Honorable Kalomo?
Yes, you are right, Chair. But
yes,
also
so
further clarification also is that in the document, they've also indicated that he delayed the project. They've attributed it to delayed sittings by the CDFC committee.
okay, that is on
direct you there.
Okay.
So they are blaming CDFC sitting on the other delayed projects. But if I see their behavior here now, where the committee sits, then 4-5 months is when they are writing now to request for variation.
Okay. So in this regard, honorable member for Dondumwes and all the listeners, it's clear that the CDF committee start on time, but it's just a question of now asking to say why did the council take long to write to the PLGO for the variation. So that's a question. CS, please, you can come in.
I'd love to hear that as well, Chair.
Yes, Chair, like you have clearly indicated, I think there are two issues here. There's the delayed sitting of the CDFC, which has a number of factors which we are going to explain, and also the query from the honourable member for Sakile. I will request Director Engineering to come in on the 4 months period on why we delayed to submit. Otherwise, on the delayed sitting of the CDF, it's a ripple effect. There are other factors that made the CDFC to delay sitting. It's
Okay,
not a standalone issue. But for Director Engineering will come in to clarify on
Director
the
Engineering and the plan is around. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Time. Yes. Please proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair. And before I begin my submission, Chair, I must apologize that there should be some documentations that are missing to actually support my explanation. Because from the appendices that has been provided, what we have exhibited here as evidence is when the variation was conducted, when we sat and when we had submitted. However, like for KALOMO Central, we should have also maybe shared the approval letter, or rather the minutes when we start. From that, you would have seen that we did not delay as speculated in the report, because the gap, Chair, is because of the necessary documents that would have been there, like the minutes to show when we sat for KALOMO Central and Dudumwezi. However, what is there, Chair, is showing when we submitted the variation, which I think did not take time from what has been exhibited in the report, Chair.
According to you, when did you submit the variation?
For Dudumwezi, we submitted it in May.
That's the question, to say from 13th of January to May. Why did you take that long? That's the question. You haven't yet answered.
Chair, I would like to clarify that we start in on 8th May 2023 for the variation, according to the minutes presented.
Which minutes then are you guiding us to also?
Chair,
because the minutes
point
that
of
are here,
objection, Chair.
just hold on.
Your witness is
the minutes that you are showing us that are presented are indicating 20th of December. We have them here. So those ones for me, where are they?
I think that should be the last minute on Appendix 14, which states Monday 8th May 2023. That's the one that's speaking to the variation of a 2.5.
Right, member for Sakir.
Chair, when I was beginning my question, I did ask them very specific question. I said, this minute 13th January, is it the one? Then the CS was there. She agreed. So where is the problem? Because you agreed before this committee that that is the minute. So where is the problem?
Honorable member, thank you so much, Sharon. I think we can proceed to the next question. You want to make a comment? Okay.
Page 22, Chair.
Before we proceed, the ministry want to make a comment?
Yes, sir. I think maybe what witness needs to sequentially guide the committee is that the minutes for the January coming for ordinary consideration. And the minutes you are having on 8th May are primarily considering the variations. So I think just see how you manage your documents, and sequentially you can guide your committee. I thought I could do submit that, Chair, because I've gone through this document, and I think at Appendix 14, that's where you get the account for the variations that is being considered from skills and bursaries. I submit, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Honorable Member for Kaumbwe. Next question, please.
Thank you, Chair. We go to page 2. Delayed completion of Muchenje Health Post. I'll make a general comment on the implementation of projects, community projects, more especially under 2022-2023 in both constituencies, the Kalomo Central and Dudumwezi. Both constituencies had some community projects that were stoked, and through the enhanced CDF, these projects were allocated some funds to complete them. For example, in Kalomo Central, delayed completion of Muchenje Health Post. This project, in fact, Kalomo Central has had 5 projects that were all executed using labor-based. But the results ended up maybe in poor workmanship and also seeking for more funding. Examples. The Muchenje Health Post on page 2, it was awarded for completion of 3 months. Then the total amount was 150,000 kwacha, with the labor component of 17,000 kwacha only, and the picture of the health post is on page 2. This project, Chair, is under 2022 funding. So under 2022, they reserved 150,000 kwacha to complete this by using labor-based. The end result is that they had to seek for 200,000 kwacha more through 2024 CDF allocation to complete the remaining works, the scope of works that was outstanding. And the status of the project is not very clear as per today. The other example is Shimbuji Community School. The same mode of execution, they reserved 150,000 and gave the contract to just for labor, and it ended up in a deficit of some funding, and they requested, they have actually recommended for additional funding through 2025 budget. First of all, being funded in 2023. So they have recommended for additional funding in 2025. The amount which they are seeking is not specified. Also, page 6 is the Kasumo Primary School. The same mode where they reserved 150,000 to complete the primary school, the staff house at the school, and they ended up seeking 50,000 additional funding from 2025, which the project might still be ongoing on. Page 7 is Mulwazi Health Post. Then page 9 is Nakawanga Primary School. Kalomo Central has 5 projects that were executed, that are executed by this labor-based, and Dundu is only one that was queried. These projects, they did not succeed because, first of all, they delayed, and the delays attributed to poor work is due to first funding, and also that the communities delayed to provide upfront materials. The point of clarification I want to seek is that from 2022 funding, for example, the project on page 6, Kasumo Primary School, the staff house. This project was awarded on 26 January 2023. And it was awarded for 3 months, ending 20th of April 2023. This project did not succeed. Using the same model where you reserved 150,000, and the same project actually is seeking funding for under 2025 through poor workmanship, as alluded to in the previous reasons. So, Council has had an experience of the failure of this mode of executing these projects, because the first project was awarded on 26 January 2023, and it failed. And even right now, you are seeking for 50,000 from 2025. So this is a 2022 project, 2022 funding, and January 2023, you awarded a contract under this mode. It failed. But then you repeated to execute this kind of execution of projects, as evidenced on page 3, 9 November 2023. But you had lessons. You had lessons from the January contract. You had lessons from the contract on page 7, 17th March of Mulazi Health Post, that you still had to seek for additional funding, and these projects have stalled. Most of these projects, actually, they even missed the additional funding for the following year. So, why did you continue using the failed model of implementing these projects, and yet you had an experience from January, earlier contracts that you issued in January, you issued in March, you issued also for why did you continue on a failed model? Continue failing.
Thank you, Chair. Firstly, I would like to assure the committee.
By the way, Amutelo, MP for Mitete, temporarily holding on for the chair as is coming. I'm going back to my seat. You may continue, yes.
Thank you, Chair. I was informing the committee that I would like to assure you that we are at 100% as we speak. That is for 2022 projects as well as 2023 projects, despite all the hardships that we faced. Why did we continuously do the wrong thing? Chair, it's because that is the only choice we had. The CDF committee did not approve our recommendations, not only for Simbunji, Muchenji, but many other projects from 2022. And we have evidence to that effect. What is the role of the technocrats in these committees? The role, we have engineers, we have socio-economic planners, we have everyone. The role is to advise, guide the committee, and ensure that they do the correct thing. So I'll give an example of Muchenji, where engineers' estimates were developed to the tune of 380,000, but in their wisdom, the CDF committee decided to allocate a less amount. And this is even better, 380, because there are projects that are located 137,000. So this is despite our numerous reminders. What did we do further? Chair, we went ahead and involved all stakeholders at all levels, starting from the grassroots, the WDC committees. We sat with them, we sat with the CDF committees, and also a joint meeting several times, not once, not twice, but several times. And we have evidence to that effect. Pictures, also minutes from CDF committee where they have confirmed that we have rejected your advice. So to answer the question, Chair, that is the only choice we had. Because at the end of the day, we have targets to meet. We are employees of government. So we need to move. And our role is to advise, which we have done. I submit, Chair.
Honorable member for Mitet across the Zambezi River. By the way, honorable member, did you introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. When the chair you temporarily, they gave me the powers to chair, so I had to introduce myself. You have evidence to that effect. Why? Like you have right reported, CDF committee is composed of a team from yourselves. In this day and era, in the midst of print, will not continue with labor-based. No? So they may not be here, KALOMO, but your team is here. They are part and parcel of that committee. It's one, it's not two. Yes, are we together? Yes. When you make a resolution, it's that committee where your team, your officers and part and parcel. Is it written to say no, the technical committee or officers advised? It's written. I would love to ask you to lead us to that.
Yes, Chair, it's written in black.
Where is the appendix for that?
At the beginning of our submission, we requested to add additional information.
Yes.
As you are aware, we are coming from different directions. We met in Osaka.
Yes, where is that?
Submit.
Where is the additional information? Just lead us there. You give to the chair, this is what we are saying. It is in.
Please get us where is it?
Yes.
Yes, Chair.
Even as you are guiding, going forward, no more labor-based. CS, are you getting it? It's not a joking matter. When you do small labor-based works are what? Delayed and short works. Isn't it right to say cheap is what? Yes. No wonder now with time you have these additional monies. We are eating on time. We are compromising on the quality. No more. In KALOMO they are hearing. No more what? Labor-based. No more. Local authorities, you have the money. Where are we using labor-based? You are given 750. All you do is maybe we put a 50, then the community also. At some point, you are given 1.6 million. You would want to spread it across the constituency. Not now. Through your chair. No more labor-based. when some works would have maybe gone up to some good, but even that's how the first account is coming in. You now come in as technical advisors, but leaders, so that we have the evidence through the chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Just hold on. Was that okay, we can proceed.
Yes, as is giving the evidence, like I indicated in my preamble, where I showed the committee that right now, 2022-2023 projects, we are at 100%. Further, our numerous engagements, the engagements that I referred to, really yielded positive results. It began in the year 2023 under Dundumwezi, the period under review. You will notice that Dundumwezi only had 2 projects that were labor-based. All projects were, full contracts. Kalomo Central, went further in 2024. You will find that they have gone full throttle for full projects. So I think our engagements yielded positive results. Perhaps, Chair, those were teething issues. We experienced a lot of bottlenecks. It was a new phenomenon, a new concept to everyone, but as we went by, I think maybe the CS can confirm that things are now okay. Beginning 2024, Kalomo Central.
All right. Thank you, CS. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Manza.
Well, just want to, the CS is trying to say that they successfully executed all the projects despite struggling to implement using the labor-based method. But if we go to the project on page 3. Page 3 is a classroom block, 1x3 classroom block at the Shimbunji Community-Based School. This project was signed on 9th November 2023 to end on 30th November 2023. And the picture is shown on page 3. The action on page 4, as at now, is that management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to report that the project has since been completed in accordance with the scope of works for the first allocation of 150,000 kwacha. Management will recommend for additional funding under 2025 disaster component to enable the completion of the project. So like this project, we're in 2025. Is it completed? And you have asked for funding from 2025 to complete this project, which you signed in November 2023, taking more than 3 years. So, so that is why I asked that question to say, you learned bitter lessons. You started learning bitter lessons from January of 2023, and yet you continued to go by this method of labor-based. In November, this is an example of a project that has been delayed for actually a long time, and we are not even very sure as to when it will be completed. If you compare, I want you to compare and appreciate the experiences which could have actually made you to act quickly and do the right thing. On page 9, the Nakabaye Primary School. Yes, Nakawanga Primary School. This is the same story, and I just go to this project was signed on 15th March 2023 and was supposed to end on 15th May 2023. The action taken on page 10 is that the project has since been allocated an additional funding under the 2025 CDF to complete the remaining works. So, how do you convince your committee that all these projects are completed when you had to seek for funds almost three projects for in 2025? How do you prove that? Because you just said that you have executed and completed all these projects. Now 2025, you are still seeking for funding to fund these projects, and 2025, not all constituencies are funded already. Funds are still in place. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Chair. May I request Director Engineering to take that?
Director Engineering.
Chair, thank you very much. I wish to clarify by completed. What was meant is that the projects were completed to scope. However, we do take note of the concerns that have been raised by the committee about doing labor-based, Chair.
All right, thank you so much. As we conclude, one last question.
What was the question?
Honorable Member of Committee.
The question, if I heard Kaumbo well, is that the project is not completed. Then you are saying completed as per scope. A scope up to some certain level. If I may get it. If I may get it from you, sir.
Yes, through you, Chair, yes.
Yes. Now, the CS was saying fully completed. Do you know 100%? Sir?
Yes.
What does 100% completed mean? Does it mean Gable? No, we still have some finishes, or it is done and no more weeks?
It means up to a point of completion in terms of it can be habitable.
So what should we now get between you and the CS? The CS said, oh, whatever we are talking about, forget. They are now done and dusted. Now you come in, no, up to some certain scope. We don't want our report to have hanging issues. That's why we are asking. But the chair is almost winding down. You should not be leaving certain matters hanging. So what should we write? Rephrase. You are seated together. So agree and come up with one position. Yes, what must be the position?
Thank you, Chair. As we are agreeing with my colleague here, the 100% is just the way I've said it, 100% completed according to the scope. There is nothing pending under 2022, nothing pending under 2022. But then let me agree on what can be captured, Chair, with your endeavor.
Okay, let's do this. May you give us a bit of some time? I suspend the business for 10 minutes and keep you with the immunity until you come back here.
Good morning. You are still watching Parliament Television. The Committee on Local Government Accounts has gone on a short break, and appearing before this committee is KALOMO Town Council, that is being led by the Council Secretary, Mr. Trophius Kufanga, and they've already made their submissions on the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund CDF for the financial year ended 31st December 2023, and the committee is seeking points of clarification from KALOMO Town Council. So keep watching Parliament Television. Good morning.